Bom dia, boa tarde. Sou Lydia Angela de Indonesia. Muito prazer. So I'm so excited and honored today to be in this occasion, talking to you in this video about a little bit of my perspective, and I hope that it will contribute to some things in the colors of your perspective also to reach consolidation. And after thinking for a bit about what I'm going to say today, I decided to tell you about two things. The first thing is how I came to be in this video talking to you all, and that is on September 2016, I got myself an exchange opportunity to Universidade do Porto, Portugal. It's a scholarship from the Erasmus program, and because I'm normally a shy person and I'm also someone who never set out of my hometown for my whole life, I was of course afraid of a lot of things. And these things are pretty normal things, like what if I cannot take care of myself, and what if I cannot adapt to the life in Europe, and what if everyone speaks Portuguese and because I'm not a Portuguese speaker I cannot communicate in daily life. And there is another fears, like most importantly, me as a Muslim woman from Indonesia, I was afraid of my identity. So what if people hate me for who I am? What if people see me differently because of this outfit that I'm wearing? But fortunately, these fears of mine never came true at all. In fact, I met a lot of people from all over the world, like from Europe, from America, from Asia, from Africa, and they have different perspectives that make me see the world differently. And all they ask me is really understandable curiosity, like, why do you wear that kind of outfit in this kind of hot weather? Don't you feel hot or something? Like, why do you even wear that? Or maybe something more silly, like, do you actually have hair behind your scarf? And do you have some hair problem or something? Are you bald? And is anyone forcing you to wear something like this? And it's really understandable, and I guess maybe some of you are also asking about this kind of thing. And to which to all these questions, I can confidently say that I am proud of my identity as a Muslim, and I am proud of my choice also to wear this kind of outfit, because for us, for Muslims, Islam has this motto which is Rahmatan lil Alamin. It's in Arabic and it means like the blessings to the universe. So to be a Muslim means, maybe it is the same as other religions teaches also, which is you have to benefit the world around you, and you have to do good in everything to everyone and make the world a better place. And this is also same with my life purpose, I guess, which is I want to be someone, an architect, a human being who can benefit the others through my creations. But I guess even though I did not encounter any of these bad things, doesn't mean that they don't exist, because I've met friends, Muslim friends, who told me stories about how they were treated differently in places, and this makes me kind of sad actually, because isn't it funny, because people are afraid of us because of all these bad ideas about us, about terrorism, about bombs, about violence, or maybe oppression or these stuffs, even though it's not true. But we are also afraid of going out, because we are afraid, what if people see us differently because of these false accusations? Like, it's really funny, isn't it? And so I took it upon myself to be here today and share a little bit about my perspective to all of you, as me, who is first an architecture student, second as a Muslim woman, and the third as an Indonesian. But Indonesia is a country, it's in the equator, and it's a tropical country, and it is consisted of thousands of islands, 18,000 actually. and it is also the country with the biggest Muslim population in the world. But even though maybe Muslim is the majority here, this country is blessed with diversity, and one of them is religion. We actually have 6 official religions here and countless other beliefs. We have hundreds of tribes and countless cultures, and everyone managed to come together under one flag, which is Indonesian flag. And also, maybe Muslim is the majority here, but most of our cultural legacy, which we are still proud of until today, are from Hindu and Buddha. One of the best example maybe is the Borobudur Temple. It's one of the biggest temple in the world, and it is literally carved on a hill. Like how amazing that is, that you make a temple on a hill. It's so big, and it's a Buddhist monument. And another one of it is the Prambanan Temple. Prambanan Temple is consisted of a complex which has about 100 temples, and it's really beautiful, and it's a Hindu temple. And we are all very proud of this architectural heritage of ours. And actually, although it's a little bit debatable, but looking back on history, Islam is quite new here. It did not come until the 13th century, and before that, most of the kingdoms that managed to conquer our lands, even 2 of the biggest, which is Sriwijaya and Majapahit, that managed to conquest almost all of Southeast Asia, they are Buddhist and Hindu kingdoms, and most of our cultural legacy until today is from them. And so maybe by now you start to wonder, like, how on earth did Muslim manage to build these 2 really big kingdoms? How much power did they have actually? Like how crazy are they? But here's an anticlimax from me, which is Muslim did not even come through war. They did not conquest anything, but they came through trades and diplomacy. So back then, before Indonesia even existed, actually our place was somewhat strategic for the marine trade, because it is in the middle of the seas of Asia and India, and also it is the place of something the world was looking for back then, which is spices. And because of these spices from our islands, merchants came from all over the world, and some of them are Muslim merchants. And this is how, by trading and being our regular customers, you could say, maybe, they managed to mingle with the local community. Some of them even settled and took some wives from the locals, and they have children. And this is how, through this very dynamic exchange of friendship and culture, Islam managed to came and spread itself to our lands. And even the 9 holy people, which are called Wali Songo in our place, they are like the most famous people that spread Islam in Indonesia. How did they spread Islam? They spread it through culture. They made musical arrangements from the traditional music, of course with Islamic values and principles, and they make puppet shows. It's wayang shows, and they tell stories with Islamic values inside, and they build schools where they teach children, and they also teach them to Islamic values aside from reading and mathematics and all this stuff. For example, this is the Kudus Mosque, and as you can see, this is a mosque, but the building is more like it is stick with the Indonesian culture of Hindu-Buddha culture. It looks like the entrance of a temple also, perhaps. And also this is another picture of it, and this looks a little bit like the temple complex, but it's a mosque and it's beautiful. And the second example is maybe this other mosque. This one is a mosque from my hometown. It's called the Chenghu Mosque, and it also has a very beautiful acculturation of the Indonesian Chinese tradition. Look at the pagoda and the red and green colors, and it's really beautiful. And this is at night. It's also so pretty. As you can see that this is like a postmodern movement even before postmodern even existed, you could say. And it's interesting because there was no quest of gold, glory, and gospel in the spread of Islam in Indonesia. And no one tried to force their beliefs. No one tried to get rid of the existing traditions and religions, and they assimilate themselves into it and became one with the diversity. And isn't that really interesting? So there are many things to be learned from this piece of history of Indonesia that maybe the world doesn't really know, which is that the best way to coexist, it seems, it's to learn from others and share your perspective to others also, so that you can gain this new knowledge together and make it into something beautiful. And we have to consolidate diversity, of course, without losing our identity, like Islam in Indonesia. And whether it is to spread ideas or to make something for the community, for the world, I guess you have to work together, and we have to open our minds so we can also open others. And maybe we cannot change the world alone, but we can we can change it together. And lastly, I really believe in the teaching of Islam, which is to benefit the world around us. And I believe also, just by having these goodwills, you can you can spread it to people around you, and the whole universe will help you to achieve what you want, and maybe something will improve. And lastly, maybe this is not all I want to say today, but as you know, we don't have much time. But in case you want to have further discussion with me, just feel free to contact me in this email address, and I will be happy to answer anything and discuss. And that's all from me. Obrigada pelo o seu tempo e até já.